It's no understatement to say that One Piece is extremely popular. It's constantly ranking as one of the best-selling manga every year, even getting second place this year in 2024. And it's the overall highest-selling manga of all time, with 500 million copies sold. And of course, due to its immense popularity, it's gotten its fair share of video game adaptations, from fighting games like Burning Blood, to Musou games like Pirate Warriors, to open world games like Odyssey. It's covered every single genre, including party games. One Piece Pirates Carnival was a critical failure, being one of the lowest rated One Piece games of all time. However, it seems like many still defend this game. Are they really just blinded by nostalgia, or does One Piece Pirates Carnival deserve the title of the worst One Piece game of all time? So, let's find out. One Piece Pirates Carnival was first revealed at Jump World Festival in 2005, where it was confirmed to be a party game akin to Mario Party with a Japanese release set for winter of that same year. It was also announced that it would be coming to GameCube and PS2, and for some reason, IGN thought that it would make up for the lack of a new Zelda game on the GameCube. What? Eventually, a Japanese release date was set for November 23, 2005, with Americans having to wait until March 2006 for confirmation from publisher Bandai Namco that it'd be getting a release in North America on September 12, 2006. Along with well-known anime game publisher Bandai Namco, Pirates Carnival would be developed by Hand, who up to this point had only worked on the obscure games Treasure Strike for Dreamcast and its sequel Treasure Strike Full Swing for PC. They're so obscure that they don't even have Wikipedia pages for me to read basic information off of. Regardless, One Piece Pirates Carnival went ahead with this launch, releasing in North America on September 12, 2006. IGN publishing a very flattering article on its launch with the subtitle, "Even thieving seamen like to let their hair down." Thanks, IGN. Of course, they would then go ahead, like many others, and give Pirates Carnival a poor score, coming in at 4.5. Other reviewers gave similar scores, GameSpot a 5.4, Nintendo World Report a 3, and an average critic score of 47 on Metacritic. However, the surprising rating is from the user score on Metacritic, coming in as an 8. Now we should take this with a grain of salt, considering there are only 6 user reviews against the 14 critic reviews. But if you do some light research, you'll still find players defending this game, just like those users on Metacritic. However, as some of them point out, this could just be a product of nostalgia. So if the rose-tinted glasses are taken off, is this still a good game? Well, I've never played it before, so I'm going to give it a fair shot to see who is right. Are the critics correct in naming it as one of the worst One Piece games of all time, or are the fans correct in that it's an underrated gem? Well, let's find out. One Piece Pirates Carnival is most similar to games like Mario Party. There's a board, and players compete in a variety of different mini-games to earn currency. Although Carnival's boards are laid out differently than in Mario Party. In Mario Party, they're like a typical board game that you physically progress across. However, in Carnival, it's a grid, where each spot on the grid can be claimed by one of the players. Each tile corresponds to a random card, each card having a different effect and different value. The value of all of your captured cards and the money you've won in the mini-games is then added up at the end, and the player with the most wins. To progress through the game, players take turns selecting a tile, the majority of which will start a minigame, with the winner of said minigame earning control of that title. Some cards also have other effects such as losing money, stealing another player's tile, etc. There is some strategy to which panels you choose, as trapping another player's panel between two of yours will allow you to steal their panel. But like I mentioned earlier, regardless of who selects the panel, every player gets a chance to compete for it in the minigame, so you should be trying to win every single panel anyways. There's 7 different characters to play as: Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, and Robin. And there are 5 different boards to play on: East Blue, Grand Line, Skypiea, Water 7, and Long Ring Long Land. Each of these boards have a different environment and layout, but I wish they would have been more distinct from one another. Perhaps some could have their own special mechanics like Mario Party does, but then again, they restricted themselves by locking the gameplay into this grid fashion. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of this gameplay. In addition to the lack of board variety, the concept itself doesn't work very well. If you get the advantage in the beginning, then it's incredibly easy to keep that momentum up throughout the whole game and maintain control over a large portion of the board. You can choose which tiles to go after, but in most cases to win said tile, you have to win its corresponding minigame, which everyone is competing in, so anyone can win the tile that you have chosen. I appreciate that they tried a different gameplay setup in comparison to other party games, but if they're opting for a board game, then I would have preferred one along the more traditional sense. But the minigames are where the meat and potatoes really are, and they're fine. There are 3 different types of minigames, each being triggered by a different event on the board. Standard minigames occur during normal panels and under your basic minigames. There are captain games which trigger when a captain tile appears, and in these games, the one who chose the tile gets to play as the captain and compete against the other 3 players. Finally, there are straw hat games, which occur when a player acquires a tile that allows them to challenge another player for one of their tiles. Each of these games corresponds to one of the playable characters and sees them competing against the other 3 players. I like the variety of minigames, and I enjoyed a good handful of them, mainly the captain games and the straw hat games, as these tended to have the most unique and interesting gameplay elements, whereas the normal minigames were riddled with more problems. A lot of them boiled down to just button mashing or RNG, or if they had more complicated controls, then they usually just wouldn't play well or feel good to handle, and because of these problems, they get pretty repetitive and aren't fun for more than a couple of rounds. However, the good thing I can say about these minigames is that they feel like One Piece. The Captain games and the Straw Hat games are all centered around specific characters from One Piece and feature mechanics that reflect those characters. But while I can say that for Captain games and Straw Hat games, I can't say that for all of the normal games, as most of them are indicative of generic party minigames with a pirate theme slapped on top of them. That being said, there are still a good handful of minigames that are direct references to the show and manga, such as Pirate Dodgeball or Digging for Water in Yuba. It really feels like they tried to base all of the minigames off of a specific moment from the anime, but they just ran out of ideas halfway through, which would like go from a minigame on long stilts to a generic minigame about shooting islands. Visually, Pirates Carnival doesn't look horrible. It opts for a chibi art style for its character models, sports regular PNG renders for its character interactions. Speaking of the character interactions, the writing is kind of just terrible, which is to be expected considering the fact that this game is based off of the 4Kids localization of One Piece, and because of this, there is content cut from the Japanese version, as the show hadn't aired as far ahead as it had in Japan. This also means that the voice acting is done by the 4Kids team, and that many things are censored and names are changed, again, like in the 4Kids localization of the anime. I haven't seen the One Piece anime, so I can't comment on whether the 4Kids dub and censorship is good there, but in this game, it's not very good. So, is One Piece Pirates Carnival really that bad? I don't think so. It's a somewhat competently made Mario Party clone. It sets itself apart from other games of the genre with its unique board system and minigames that really feel like One Piece. That being said, the board system does have its flaws with a lack of board variety and strategy. While some of the minigames are fun and have specific references to the anime, many of them feel quite generic and are plagued by repetitive or clunky controls. The graphics aren't horrible, but the 4Kids localization censoring and removing content isn't ideal. It's hard to say whether this is the worst One Piece game ever when I haven't played every One Piece game ever. But I can say this, if you like One Piece, you'll probably have fun with it. It's just gonna get pretty repetitive after a couple of games, and to say it's one of the worst games of all time is, I think, going a bit too far. However, with all that being said, the people that are giving this game 8 out of 10s, 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s, they are 100% just blinded by nostalgia.